Hello, my crafty friends. It's Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and today is day 19 of the Countdown to Christmas card series. I can't believe how close to the end we are getting with this series. So just showing you some products that I'm going to be using. The die cuts, I had die cut that out a little while ago for a card that I didn't end up using. The snowman is from Hero Arts. It's a peekaboo snowman die. And some white cardstock, my Distress Oxide in tumbled glass, and I am going to be using the stencil from A Colorful Life Designs. It's their cloud stencil, which I absolutely loved, and wondered why I wasn't able to find it. Was because I found it on the floor, so thankfully the dog didn't eat it. So now that I know where it is, we're going to use that. So I'm just going to do this entire background, rotating this stencil and filling it in. I should have probably used my grip mat to make it a little easier for me to keep things where they were, but with this stencil it doesn't really matter because it is a very realistic design as far as the clouds go, so you really can't screw it up. So while I'm finishing putting on the stenciling, I will then take my die cuts and I am going to color them in using Sharpies. I didn't even want to get up and get my alcohol markers. These are right beside me, so I decided to use those. And so while I'm doing that, I just thought I would talk to you about this series. So I am collaborating with Michele from Scrap Secrets, and this is the second year that we've done her Countdown to Christmas card series. It is 25 projects, 2 projects a week on Mondays and Fridays. And we do different themes, techniques, and we will have unique videos of 100 between the two of us for you to have over the last 2 years for inspiration. I will link at the end of this video the 2024 playlist, which has all of the current videos, and on my channel is the 2023 list. I did also want to say that Michele and I do collaborate. We try to collaborate once a month on a project at least throughout the year. So if you like what we do for this Christmas card series, we do collaborate once a month, or at least we try to, as long as, scheduling allows. So we'll see what 2025 brings. But in the past, that's what we have done, and we really enjoy that. So if there are things that you'd like to see us do, feel free to leave them for me down below. There will be giveaways for this series. I am trying my hardest to reach 1,000 subscribers, and if I reach that milestone before this series ends, I will add an additional prize for reaching that. I'm close, but then you go back a little, you go forward a little, so it's YouTube. It is what it is. I am less than 10 away, so if you haven't subscribed and would be so kind to do so, I would greatly appreciate it. I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to my channel and watches my videos and interacts with me. I really truly appreciate it. I've had my channel for a while. I did take quite a hiatus for a long period of time, but for the last few years I've been back making videos pretty consistently and growing my channel, and I absolutely love it. So thank you all very much for your support. I really truly appreciate it. For this scarf, just back to the project here, I'm coloring in the scarf, and I had done the blue dots and then decided while I was coloring the purple that I'm like, nope, not going to try to color around those. So I cover them completely with the purple and then go back with the blue to fill them back in, because I wanted them to be 2 colors. But I just did not want to take the time to color around those little dots, because everything is kind of impressed into this. It's not really cut out. Otherwise I would have inlaid it with a different color of cardstock. And then I'm coloring in the mittens to match in that same purple. And you'll have to let me know, when I did glue this on, I decided at the very end to trim off the mittens, what was hanging off of my card base. You'll have to let me know if you would have left them on and just used a bigger envelope, or would you have trimmed them off because they were over the edge of the entire card base. So I toyed with it, went back and forth in my brain. You can watch me kind of pause as I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, and in the end I did end up trimming them. And then I was going to make this a traditional Santa hat, and I thought to put red with blue and purple it wasn't jiving with the light blue background. I said, nope. So I picked a light pink color to color in this hat. And I realized, it doesn't have to be a Santa hat. It can just be a winter hat. So sometimes I got a little too literal with what things are supposed to be. And I remembered, it's my choice. I can make it whatever I want it to be. So I went with pink. Could have definitely added some dots or different designs on this with a different color if I wanted to, but I kept it pretty simple and just going to glue on my nose and then color in the eyes with a thinner tipped Sharpie for in black, just so those have a little pop. And then I do take my white gel pen, which took some effort to get running again, and just put some dots on the eyes and some little highlights on the nose and the mittens and the hat, just to give it a little something. I don't do this very often because half the time I forget that I have a white gel pen, but definitely something that gives it a little bit something else. In order to get this working, all I did was rub the tip of it over my hands. And so the theme for today actually is torn paper. And so I decided to add the torn paper element by making snowbanks with it. I could have ink blended my clouds using torn paper, but I thought, no, I'm just going to use some snowbanks. So I'm just tearing these down so they're not quite uniform. They have a little bit of shape to them. And I'm going to end up using 3 of them to stack them together. And I'm just putting my snowman on so I can see how everything lays out. And I am going to then glue those. I will glue the snowman down first, and then the hat, and then I will glue my snowbanks on. I thought for a second I lied, but no, I did. I was just checking out to see how I wanted them to be, but decided to glue the snowman first so that I didn't end up putting him too far down or too far up that the snowbanks didn't cover him, because I wanted it to be a little bit over him, so, or her, I guess, with the pink hat, whatever you want it to be. And I'm just doing everything with liquid glue. You could always put some of the snow panels, the snowbanks, with some foam squares or foam tape and tuck something else inside of it if you wanted to, but I chose to keep it kind of flat for this particular card. And I am going to just glue down my snowbanks and try to do them so that I don't leave a big gap. And I managed to actually do it the first time without needing to pull them up and start over again. So for me, that's pretty darn good. Then once I get these all adhered down, I'm going to take my aqua shimmer pen and do the brim of the hat, the pom-pom of the hat, and then the very edges where it's torn on those snowbanks to give it kind of that glistening of snow effect. And so that's just my little embellishment, and then I will adhere my entire panel to an A2 size card base and then trim off the excess, which I trimmed off the excess from the side because I didn't actually adhere everything down as neatly as I wanted to. So there was a little hanging over there, over the edge, and then I will trim down those mittens. So you'll have to let me know which way you would have done it. I am going to link Michele's channel down below, so I hope that you will check that out and see what she created with the torn paper technique for today. Like I said, I will have the playlist listed at the end. My sentiment before I get everything put together is from Simon Says Stamp. It is called Warmest Wishes, and it says warm and cozy wishes. And I am just going to use a block and my VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink. That's what I love about this ink, is that usually you can stamp a sentiment without having to stamp it twice. So I like that because then I don't need my Misty. And so this pause here was me trying to decide, do I want to cut the mittens off? Do I not want to cut the mittens off? So, and then I realized that I had stuff hanging over, so I trimmed that down. We're going to glue this down and trim off the mittens, and that is going to complete the project for today. Thank you all so much for joining me today for this project and this entire series. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am creating these videos, and I will link Michele's channel down below, so I hope that you'll check that out. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them for me down below. And as always, I hope that you all have a great day.